Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I hope you're doing well, and this is Sunday evening. Yesterday I spoke about IBKR and how to open an account on that, and if you're interested in investing in the US, how you can go about investing in the US. Following up with that, I wanted to talk about what is happening in the US and what is happening in the world, and how you should keep a frame of mind and a frame of reference in all this. And one of the great persons who has a great mind and who knows about these things very well is, of course, Howard Marks, the guy who is in charge of Oak Tree Capital. Anand has spoken about him many times. Shashwat and me have spoken about him many times. Shashwat has spoken individual videos about it, by himself also about this. And his insight into markets have always been very useful, especially for value investors trying to unlock value and understand what's happening, and to kind of get a gleam into where the future may lie. So he had written an article in Financial Times, and in that article, he talks about, it starts off by saying the events last week surrounding the US President Donald Trump's tariff announcement were reminiscent of those of 2008 and the global financial crisis they produced. All norms have been thrown out. The way the world traded and operated for the last 80 years may of be little relevance to the future. The impact of the economies and the world at large is entirely unpredictable. There have been no large-scale trade wars in the modern era, which means the accepted economic theories are largely untested. And that is so true. Very famously, Feynman was asked, "What is physics?" And Feynman said, "Physics is nothing but imagining two gods playing chess. And we as mere mortals are watching them play chess, not knowing the rules of what the game is. And by watching and observing, we try to understand the rules of the game. First, we see a pawn move once and we say, pawns can move one square forward. Suddenly, we see one pawn jump 2 boxes when it moves. So we realize in the first move, a pawn can jump 2 boxes, but consecutively after that, it can only move 1. So and so, we understand the laws of physics by observing nature and then formulating laws and testing them, these hypotheses, till we say, okay, this seems to be true. So then we can say this is the law of the universe, and gravity behaves like this, light behaves like that, unless we see a moment when the rule changes. And based on the change in rule, we then have to change our law, or abandon the law, saying maybe we were wrong, we have misunderstood it. And this is how modern science was built. This is very true in economics too. Of course, economics is a social science. It is not a pure science per se. And a lot of the things we are saying is based on behavioral economics. And all the studies we have done, all the understandings we have, is all based on the last 80 years after World War II. When the world settled down from the dust of a world war, and we created this modern era which we have grown to love and live in. But that seems like it's coming to a rapid close. So it's Howard Marks is saying, and he may have some truth in what he's saying, looking at what is happening, not only in the US, but across Europe, across Asia, and it's just not been this 1 year. I would say even slightly before the pandemic started, the rumbles of this has been coming. And lots of value investors, our late Charlie Munger, have spoken about this in great length, saying change is imminent. And like they say in Buddhism, and like the Buddha said, change is constant. So this world looks like it is in for a massive change. And the principles of economics, which in what our principles of investing are based on, those themselves may be fundamentally have to be relooked at the way the world is shifting. Case in point, what happened with Donald Trump and the tariffs shows us very clearly that usually when a recession comes in, there's weakness in the equity market and strength comes in the bond market, because bond and debt is considered to be stable, and that too sovereign bonds are supposed to be tantamount to gold, especially the American ones. Those bonds strengthen because investors run to that saying, okay, there's no sure returns in equity, I will buy those bonds and hold on to it till the storm passes. And after the storm passes, when things look normal again, I will sell those bonds and bring my money back to equity and buy it for cheap at that point of time. Makes sense. Unfortunately, what happened is when the equity market started collapsing, the bond market also started faltering. This, of course, led to the U-turn by Donald Trump, which I spoke about, and now we are here. So, there's this crisis of confidence. Not confidence in you and me, but confidence in our way we do business, the way we fundamentally do trade, the way we consider global economies. There is a loss of confidence in that. And that, my friend, is not a confidence you can easily restore by saying tariffs are now cancelled. The problem is, we've always led to believe that such things cannot be done, that the rule of law in the United States was sacred, that nothing can go past the rule of law, that everybody has their day in court, as they say, that you have a system of justice and there's a due process. Not only in terms of what's happening with the tariffs, but what is fundamentally happening as freedom of speech in the United States and the way the country is going through its own societal change as having wider implications to everyone else watching this as from outside in a petri dish, watching this evolve and are feeling rather nervous. And the problem is the world is tied its complete wealth and identity with that nation. And when that happens, there is fundamental quake and fault lines erupting across the globe on what we think will happen tomorrow, what we can count on, and where should we keep our money? Where will society per se be? And this confidence of crisis has been unpredictable and has left us completely confused and perplexed. It has been like a whiplash, and this is not going to go away anytime soon. Not just because Trump goes away will this be settled. All of us had this foolish notion that, this is just a 4-year term, and after this is gone, it'll get back to normal. It'll be business as usual. We even told ourselves, 2 years, the House will come and he'll lose it, the House elections, then he'll become a lame duck president. The damage is done is of such enormity that it's going to take a long, long time for things to come to close to what they used to be. Even the Canadians, who have been friends with Americans for over 250 years, who share the longest unsecured border in the world, have come out saying their relationship, as they know, is over. So that says a lot if you take it purely in terms of what is happening in the United States. So this paralysis is going to increase the amount of risk in the market, is going to increase the amount of uncertainty in the market, is going to increase the amount of confusion. This coupled with inflation and a recession, both of which are on the cards, and the Fed being caught in between, cutting rate on the risk of inflation, holding rates in fear of a crash, there is no real playbook in this scenario. At least in the last 80 years, we have not come with anything like this. So the real question Howard Marks asks is, are the current market declines overblown or just the beginning? Is a question we should all think about. And he leaves the door open. Either tariff gets rolled back and markets bounce, or it unfolds into something far more serious. That is where we are sitting on. So as we get into this week, Monday is a holiday for us Indians because it's Ambedkar Day up north. The markets are closed. Down south, it's Tamil New Year's Day. So in Tamil Nadu, we are also on a holiday. And Friday is Good Friday. So this investment week is a very short window for us. We only have Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So be careful and always keep it in tiffin coffee range. And we will get through this. We will find our road to the new normal if that is the case. Or we will find a way back to settling down to where things were. But during this period of uncertainty, What you should hold on to is your fundamental knowledge on the companies you're investing in, the businesses you're investing in, and why you're investing in. Of course, we didn't even open the Pandora's box of AI in the middle of all this, which itself is another kettle of fish, which can lead to a lot more instability in the market and in the businesses and in geopolitical situations globally. Thanks for watching the video as always. I wish you a wonderful Sunday evening as you get ready. Those of you who have work tomorrow, those of you who don't have and have a holiday, do have a wonderful holiday. I wish all of you a happy Ambedkar Day for those of you who celebrate this. And for those of you who celebrate Tamil New Year's, I wish you a happy Tamil New Year's Day tomorrow. Nothing else more to say. See you tomorrow with another video. Good night.